I'm here with David Lowe from eProductivity and eProductivity software actually. And for those who may have not read the news in details, eProductivity software is a kind of a breakout from EFI, right?
We are indeed.
But the great thing about the way that that eProductivity is positioning itself in the market is basically focusing entirely on software, where EFI were both software as well as hardware. So before we get into the demo that we're going to see here, David, what is it you do with eProductivity? What do you work with? Do you work at all?
I don't work, no, we don't. We just come to these trade shows and we talk to nice people. We don't do work stuff.
I thought so, yeah.
So eProductivity, as you say, it's come out of EFI, but the software's been around for years and years. It's just been a part of it.
Yeah.
And so we've come here because we're focused on display graphics, on wide format, on signage, displays, all that kind of stuff. So we've brought our mid-market suite as the main one. We do other software too. So if you're in, get a little plug for the rest of my team, if you're in labels, packaging, corrugated, you're in quick print things, you're in books, magazines, journals, we do all that kind of stuff. The software company is really purely focused about print. So there's lots of generic ERPs, lots of standard things out there, but we said, no, we're focused purely on print. That's where our strength is. It's what we understand, it's just make use of it.
When I think back on EFI, it is a kind of interesting journey because one of the things that grew EFI to be very well known in the industry was of course all the acquisitions from a lot of the companies brought together into what you actually referred to as different suites of software. And I remember when I was at the EFI Connect, I spoke to some of your colleagues where I said that during the years they have actually become integrated into each other and now are like fully integrated work solutions for printing companies. So I think that is very interesting because I mean basically with I think also when I did an interview with your colleague Nick Benkovic, he said that being a company that is entirely focusing on that software, it gives you a lot of new opportunities of partnering with a new number of companies, right?
Well, it's because you're focused in print, you're focused on software, you're not getting distracted by other things that are interesting and exciting. You're just able to look at the little things that are in your kind of world. So yeah, I think there's some good things. But there've been announcements at Connect anyway about a key partnership that we're looking to make. That's just the first. There will be others following.
I mean, I have also when we were at D-Scoop, I spoke to Bob Rouse, and HP was so happy that you finally were able to work together, right?
So the interesting thing, as soon as that's announced, there's sort of this queue of people who says, "Oh, finally, we've got a chance to do some things together." And it's not that we're not friends with EFI. You've filmed them too. They're only over there with us.
Yeah. We have to be quiet.
We have to maybe they might listen. They might watch. They might watch.
So John, that was just a little bit about the background. How long time have you worked with EFI eProductivity?
So I've been 5 years in the product. So prior to that, I was a customer. So I was a customer for 15 years or so anyway. So I'm quite familiar with the software and kind of the solutions that come in with it as well.
And isn't it nice to have that kind of relationship to a software that you have used yourself? Because I mean, you know all the goods and all the bad things, and now you can influence the development of the software, right?
Precisely. So after 5 years, I'm now getting to a point where I can start influencing things just from lots of knowledge of it. Not just the outside knowledge, but you have to know how it's constructed underneath. It's great. Customers always have ideas for us. And we do lots of forums with them where they debate stuff. And in fact, the thing we're going to look at is something that came about from a customer forum. It wasn't our idea. It's customers say to us, it'd be great if you could do this. And it takes that kind of brain of, what does the software do? What is the problem I want to solve? How do I get these two things coming together?
Sounds fun.
So yes, well, there's never a dull day with it anyway. There is never a dull, a dull thing.
And what is your role with eProductivity?
What is what?
What is your role with
so I'm a technical pre-sales specialist. So I go into companies.
So you're the one that knows the nice little nitty-party things that you can.
That's right. Yes. So, but I'm the one who goes in and looks at your workflows, tells you, well, you're doing this. Maybe you should do it a different way, in a nice kind of way. Of, did you know there's a whole other world out there? You know, people don't change ERPs every week. It's a 10-year investment typically we see. So if people are investing for that long, they want something to work and know it works, and they're willing to listen to change and ideas. So I'm pre-sales, I go in post-sale, I don't disappear and vanish off to the Bahamas, those things don't happen. I keep on talking to customers as we're going and offer them advice with whatever they're trying to do as their business changes.
Before we're going to see a demo, I just have one question. I mean, when you go to a trade show like this and you have now a new business card with a new name on it, kind of way, right? Do you have still the time and the chance also to go and check out what's going on in the market right now, to just not to find inspiration, but just to see what goes on here, or is it how is that?
So I always struggle to do that, as you know, because people just come here and look for me to go and show them nice things about stuff. But I will always find time at any trade show to walk the halls, see something new, find some crazy t-shirt printing guy that I've never seen that kind of thing happen before, look at maybe some new cutting technology. There's a lot of investment going into digital cutting engines and linking to software. I've always got that little kind of buzz about the software side more than getting excited about inks or laminating films. They're there, but I kind of miss them out. But if something strikes me about software and maybe increasing automation for people, that's where I'm thinking already, what are we going to do next year, the year after? Where's that stuff come in?
It sounds to me like you have already experienced a lot of nice things here at FESPA, right?
I've had a good chance to walk around. As you know, we're in the furthest away hall, so we get plenty of chance to explore stuff on our way through, so that's good.
So what is it we're going to see today?
So we're going to look at a problem particularly for display graphics printers.
And what is it called, the software?
So the software is the mid-market print suite,
okay,
and we are using a combination of two tools. We've got the ERP, the MIS bit, which is called PACE, and we have Metrics, which you may have heard of from long ago as an imposition tool. Now, the Metrics you will have heard of from the past was a litho tool, make some plates, create some press forms, and once you've made your plate, run it 1,000,000 times and print some leaflets. Well,
yeah, I heard about that.
You heard about that?
Yeah.
That's not this world. No. So we totally re-engineered how Metrics was going to work for display graphics, for digital print engines.
And what is, I mean, just to understand for me and from people that doesn't know, what are the biggest challenges if you see the difference from, let's say, commercial space to, let's say, that this market that we're addressing now?
So there's two big challenges. One is that if I'm in a display space, I need to make lots and lots of items and deliver them together to somebody at a time. And my customer doesn't sign their proofs off for all the items. I've got 50 things, I can only print 45. In the world of commercial print, I couldn't make my plate because I just couldn't produce that last sheet. So digital worlds see things differently.
Yeah. Okay.
And you know, in the past.
So it was more like moving let's say the core of Metrics into something that is now reflecting the technology available today.
Correct.
Or
yeah. So it's more understanding that there are new technologies there and we should be using them, and not thinking in the old way of thinking, totally change how it thinks.
Yeah.
Keep the basics, like what's my material price, what's my cost rate, so machine rates and material cost. Those are the core things of it.
Yeah.
But think about these machines in a totally new way, because they don't make plates. Okay. They are different.
Let's take a look at this, right?
So what you're looking at here is a plan. So I did cheat so that I saved us a bit of time. I made an estimate and I had 6 parts on it.
6 parts, okay.
That had six different things to make. Okay. We're going to tweak this as we go so we can see it change and adjust as we do.
So right now you have, is it like 3 sheets or 3 plates or whatever?
Not necessarily. So we've got 6 parts.
I was just wondering because you have
I've got
6 parts.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, however many it makes.
So it's kind of different imposition models, basically?
Totally different. So you can see this purple part is kind of appearing in multiple sections. The yellow one is appearing in multiples. In old world, that couldn't be done. You're not going to make 11 plates to run 6 parts, it's not logical. But this is looking at, well, how many overall sheets do I need? They've all got different quantities. They've all got different things to them. What do I need to go and make?
So the yellow one that is labeled 1, that could be 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14 different items, basically.
Could indeed be. 14 different artworks, potentially, yeah.
And where the denominator is basically the size?
In this case, it's size.
Yeah, okay.
So let's edit it, because you'll see it happening and what it's doing.
I'm just impatient, you know.
I'm used to doing demos with impatient people. That's fine.
Okay. So
I'm on a page here where I've got the different quantities I can see. I can see different sizes here as well of this. So one of the things we do here as well, digital world, making a new imposition plan, a new guide for this, doesn't need to be too complex. Maybe I want to allow some extras, because if I allow 5 extras, 10 extras, maybe I can get less layouts, save me some money.
Oh, really?
So I would look at this, and I'd look at my layouts maybe, and I'd see, well, here's all the percentage of usage I'm getting. Those are okay, 90%, I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
But I've got one down here that's 57%, so I can see that layout, masses of wasted space. So I think, okay, this is this part number 6 as an estimator. I'm looking at this part and I'm saying, what could I change? So part number 6, I can go and say, what if we allowed us to make 100 extras? Really silly number. Okay, I'm not going to make 100, but when you re-estimate, go and do anything between what I want, 156, and up to 256. Because if you can put this on different layouts, what's that going to do for me? How's that going to calculate? The other thing we could do here, which is really useful for signage people, is you've got these 6 parts. One of them is a real pain. One of them is really hard. You know it's going to be hard before you start. So instead of using this allowable overs field, we can take that away and say, look, go and make me 10 extras. I don't care. Customer only wants 50. I'm going to make 60 because I need them. And then see what it does. So we'll recalculate this. So estimate's going through a little process of calculating. It'll find something in a second to solve that little thing, come out with a new result for me. So it updates that as it goes across, and then it comes out, populate a little bit of time, a new layout and a new plan in there. So all of that, comes back to this same thing that you've got here. Creates however many layouts it's got, compares its costs.
Are these new now, or?
So these are the same ones. These are the same ones we had.
Yeah, okay.
So it comes back. So this is a problem for large corporates who do this.
Yeah.
It takes a bit of time.
Yeah.
So I'm concerned we're sitting here while it's calculating away. It should come back.
No, that's totally fine, because it is a complex thing to because basically what is if you look at the potentials, because if we look at why a printing company should invest in the software, right? You also have to see what are the potentials here, right?
Yes.
Timing is not an issue. It's always annoying when you have a demo, but if the output is worth the wait, right?
So we get annoyed, and our developers, and we say, this is too slow, I need to demo it, I need 30 seconds, fast. Customer says...
That's called a PowerPoint,
The customer says to me, he says, yeah, but forget that. I spent 5 hours last week doing that same task. Yeah. And, I've done it with 6, you could do it with 50, 100 parts.
But what is, so just in broader terms, because I want to understand this. So basically, when you look at what you're doing here, is basically optimizing the quantities compared to the calculations, compared to getting maximize the sheet space you have, basically, right? Yeah.
And I'm able to look at my finishes as well at the same time. So all my matte lamination is one place, all my gloss is somewhere else. All things that are going die cut maybe are different to things that are digital router cut. All those little bits it considers as it's doing it.
When you showed this to me yesterday, I said, but this is just like regular nesting and imposition. But you said basically the big difference here is basically this is post-calculation, post-production, right? So pre-production, sorry.
So it's both. So that's what's different, is you can do this here at an estimate when you're first trying to win the work, or you can say, I've got 30 customers, they've got the same material, lots of different sizes, they're all ready to go, let's gang them. And the same tool works on both sides of it.
And how do people do that today?
So in real life, printers who don't have this, they are sitting there with a pile of job bags that they've sorted into little tickets, and guys are sitting on rips and they're ripping stuff. This is integrated in, it'll create a JDF file, you can associate your artwork, send a file, flat file output, ready to go.
So that basically means that if you are a printing company owning a large format device, and let's say that you do it on rigid materials, which are quite expensive, right? You actually, this software would have a relatively short repayment time, right?
It should do. So this is why this change is really designed around this market, because we know that the cost of material is going up really fast at the moment. Nobody is knowing what it's going to be next week and the week after, and they're just trying to minimize that cost there. And this is able to look at that and try and help minimize that.
What happens, let's say that I want to reorder a job and then the conditions are changing. Will will you have to re-enter all the data again, or will it also have some kind of smart automation to actually say, okay, let's say that the substrates increase in price and it goes from 56 to 55. I mean, do you have some kind of automation for like updating repetitive jobs?
So automation is always a dangerous word.
Yeah, I know.
We have I wouldn't automate that. I would make somebody click a button, but we can recalculate. So when you hit recalculate,
so it's easy recalculate.
Recalculate will recalculate exactly everything you just had set, but it will look up your new rates of materials and maybe machine rates have changed every year. You might change something, so that goes in there. Yeah. Also, you can create versions of your estimate. Yeah. So instead of this was the only way to do it. You know, we all know that people get the original request for 10 parts and then somebody says, well, I don't want part 6 anymore. Well, this is the same estimate, but without that part 6. And again, go back to your customer who currently spends 5 hours doing this. He's now not. He's just clicking a button. He waits maybe somewhere between 2 and 10, 20 minutes to do it. And I look at it and go, 20 minutes is terrible on a demo, but it's not in real life. In real life, it is a fast solution for people.
So the customers, they are here, right? So it's both OEMs that could bundle it, or you don't do bundling, or no? Because you said it was part of your.
So this is the core mid-market.
Yeah,
so this is direct.
So that is the product that you sell, basically, right? And for companies investing in this kind of technology, I mean, how large should you be before you want to invest in this?
So for this kind of level of stuff, you're probably looking at maybe 7-8 million euro turnover.
Okay.
That's probably the range where it starts making sense for you.
Okay.
It depends what your work is. So at 3 or 4 million euro, I've got people who use it because their whole work is based on spreadsheets that come in, lots of different bits of data, processing quickly, fastest one gets the order. Yeah. So it does depend on your work. But I look at it normally, 7 to 8 million is a place where this starts making quite a quick return for you.
And I mean, you're from the UK, is it pounds or euros or dollars?
We are pounds still at the moment. We may be something different soon, but we'll stick with pounds for now.
Is there discussions about changing it? Or?
Well, if we have to join Europe again, we might have to go back to euros.
Yeah. I actually heard that you were officially very soon being allowed to use pounds and
we're reviewing it.
Imperial.
Nobody understands it, so that would be a bad move.
Well, thank you very much for the presentation.
Thank you.
We have to leave. Fortunately, good company.
Lots of things to see.
We have a few more things today, and you can see his arms, they are hurting him, so we need to finish it.
Good to see you again, Morten.
Thank you, great.
Take care.
Yeah.